Hello and welcome to episode 3 of 2P Podcast.
So,
I'm Shubhangi.
This is Naina, and today we are going to talk about the Appalachians.
Yes. So today Naina has done all of the research. I'm going to hear about the things and let's see how much of the lore I know and how much there is to explore.
So, let's begin then.
Okay. Without further ado, let's start.
So, imagine this. You were playing alone in the forest, and on your way back home, you suddenly hear your dad calling for help. What would you do?
Bro, he's not going to be in the forest. First of all, I've watched enough horror movies. He's not going to be in the forest. If he's calling, he's on his own.
Well, you're young, okay? So you're like just a
First, obviously, would be a reaction. I'd be like, bro, who called? But the second would be like, flee. Enough of horror movies have taught me, flee.
Good. So this is one of the many stories that come from the Appalachians. And yes, the author of the story did run out of that place. So the author is safe. So
they've seen the horror movies.
Yes. So author was someone like you who had actually seen horror movies and knew better not to go into the place where the sound coming from.
Never follow sounds that you do not know the origin of.
Exactly. So basically the Appalachian Mountains are like a massive ancient mountain range stretching from approximately 2,050 miles from Canada's Newfoundland to central Alabama in the US. Formed over...
Huge.
Yes, that's huge. Like really a huge area. So it was formed over 480 million years ago. And this diverse system is known for its rolling hills, lush forests, and a lot of, the biggest peak in the US as well.
Absolutely, they are old. Old. That is what speaks for, like the age of the thing. Yes. There's going to be a variety, there's going to be tales, and there's going to be folklores about.
Exactly. So how old that place is actually brings in how much lore it has and how much stories it comes from. Because those stories are not just recent years. No, they come from ages and ages back when humans started actually settling over there. So basically there was something that was there which they encountered, and that's how these stories come up from. That's where all these lores come up from.
I have 2 cents to add to that. Like you mentioned, they're old and there's going to be a lot of stories. That is exactly what I have come across so far. It's even the original tribe that inhabited the land from the earliest of days. They are we have tales, we have laws, we have warnings, we have rules that we follow.
Yes,
exactly. So you better follow whatever the land has to tell you.
They didn't come up with those rules just in case.
Yeah, just for the sake of it.
They came up with it because they experienced it and they realized that this is what keeps us safe from whatever is out there. And something that we are not sure about what it is. Absolutely. So basically that.
Learn from the people who are native and just follow their rules.
Yes, when you are there, just follow the rules of the natives.
They know better.
Than
us, for sure.
Exactly. So the Appalachian lore is a rich blend of Scottish, Irish, indigenous and African traditions characterized by airy tales of cryptids, deep-rooted superstitions and haunting mountain mysteries. Common theme includes avoid whistling of night, which I think we have all heard of that. Everywhere.
I still get scolded because I have a habit of whistling at random spaces. You, any time of the day you'd find me whistling and somewhere my mom would be yelling, do not whistle again.
I don't know how to whistle, so that just takes it out.
That's one less effort to put
Exactly. Respecting secluded ancient forests. I think this goes without saying. How do you go into a place you're not sure about and trash that place and act like you know what it is all about?
It's not only that. It's any old place.
Right, exactly.
People might say it's sacred. Just be respectful.
Exactly.
Exist and let it exist.
Exactly. And don't go around touching things you're not sure about. I think it goes without saying, but some people really don't understand.
This is not even about paranormal.
Right.
Touching random things. My mind, I don't know, it's probably because we study a lot of science and we look up a lot of facts, but touching random plants, touching random insects, touching random animals, I understand pets look cute.
But no.
Yeah, exactly. But not all the time.
Not anything that looks pet-shaped is to be pet. So I don't know.
And one of the most venomous things happen to be the most colorful and pretty ones to look at.
Exactly.
See those toxic frogs. Look at those snakes.
Flowers. The most prettiest flowers. The ones that look really beautiful. But if you consume them, that's just it. And even as
Pollen.
Yes.
Pollen.
Even as
sneeze your way.
Exactly. Even as someone, like if you do gardening a lot, if you handle plants a lot,
True.
you would know that not every single plant that you come across is healthy for you or is good for you.
Or your pets, that is.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I came across this fact randomly. I believe these are
Lilies, yes.
They are not safe for cats.
Yes, lilies. Especially lilies are not safe for cats at all. So someone with pets and someone who has dealt with a lot of plants knows that do not touch them. Like,
exactly, they're like, do not keep those lilies at home.
Exactly.
They're like harmful for cats. And I was like, bro, they look so pretty. But then I was like, I also like cats. Yeah. I do not have lilies or cats, but I was very invested because
Same. I don't have lilies or any other cats, but yeah. Again, which brings us back that if you are in a secluded place, if it is considered sacred, respect the rules.
Absolutely.
And tales of shapeshifters, ghosts, and the legendary Mothman. So basically, what we're going to cover in this episode is basically just a small introduction of what Appalachian stands for and the few stories that we have found out regarding to the Appalachian Mountains. The incoming episodes will be like...
We'll be talking about all of the creatures, right?
Right, exactly.
So we look into the creatures and related stories.
Right, exactly. So it'll be like, because Appalachian is not just a small, set of segment. No, it's huge, it's vast, and there are hundreds and hundreds of stories, positions that go with just one particular thing. Like, it's all interconnected, and we need, we need time and research to find out all of them. So, like,
this took her more than 2 weeks to put together, and this is like an
introduction to the entire thing. Because there was so much, there's so much resources, so much information regarding the same on the internet to validate what is actually true, what's happening, to the ones that are just made up by people. It takes time. It really does.
It's like some of it is folklore, some of it is what people experience. A lot of it gets mixed up in the way that it is conveyed.
Exactly.
So we won't say that this is like 100% reality or this is like an acclaimed fact. But a lot of people do share their stories online. It's directly from them or something that they have heard online, or perhaps it's like reported cases that you do not know what happened. So that is something that does spark our interest. And given it's Appalachia, the region holds so much interest amongst people because there have been so many reports of these cases, and not all of them are justified. So this is what caused it. So people are like, okay, this was a reported case, something happened, but we don't know what. This is what we think it is. Or perhaps the person said this is what it is, but we're not sure because we do not know if it actually exists.
Exactly. So these are the common, right now what we're going to discuss is basically the common cryptids and creatures that is supposed to be, there in the Appalachian lore.
Let me see how many of them I know.
So the first one we're going to go is with the Mothman.
I do know this one. A little bit though.
It's like a winged, glowy-eye creature famously sighted in the West Virginia during the 1960s. The entire description itself is great.
1960s is like really, really, I'd say like it's decades old.
It's decades old.
But then again, like, I think I came across recent...
1916, yes. It's like what? Yeah, it's kind of a decade old.
40,
it's not
40
that
60,
old.
Half of a century almost.
It's not happening.
16 or 60?
60.
So that's like 40, 20, almost 60 years, half of a century.
It's almost 60 years, yes, but still not that old compared to a lot of other stories.
Obviously. Compared to Appalachia, this is like a dot in the ocean.
So. Exactly. It's just like a dot in the ocean. So basically.
But like, have there been recent sightings or something? Because I believe that there have been reported cases.
There are reported cases of this, like, still... I don't think recent, like not this year or some stuff like that, but at least in the early 2000s, yes, till the early 2000s there were cases and reports about that.
Like if the Lord has traveled to me, it has to be covered somewhere.
So yes. Then the next one is flesh gates, entities believed to mimic human voices or use illusions to lure travelers off path. So basically the first story that we were talking about was something very similar to flesh gates. And this is not just something that has, it's pretty common. Like if you go into Appalachian, this is really, really common.
I have a point to add.
Yes.
I also know this one and I absolutely dislike it, and we're not going to be using the actual names. I know that there are people who use it very frequently. I am not very keen on that. I'm not going to let her do that. So, yeah.
Like, people do...
Take that.
Some people do like to mention that both of them are, different. But the thing remains that both of their working is pretty much the same. And both of them are really considered to be evil spirits because there's nothing good about them.
It's not even a spirit at this point. It's like an entity or like a
it's
creature
it's
of
like
sorts.
evil creature basically, and there's nothing good about them.
Yeah. Then I have another point to add. And this is how I stop. Okay. I have
Okay.
another point to add. So we are gonna call them mimics, or we are gonna call them
Flesh gates. I think let's stick with flesh
yeah,
gates.
done. It's gonna be. I prefer mimic. She's gonna refer to them as flesh gates. So yeah, that is how we'll go.
You won't take the actual name. I think we all know which.
Yes,
actual name
absolutely. Yeah, don't. Just don't.
But we never know. Okay, I'm not a huge believer of stuff like, but if someone is asking
we just said the entire tribe said no, so we are
just going to know. Yeah, we just going to respect that. We don't.
This is the basic etiquette.
Right.
The original people said no, so we are going to say no.
They said no for a reason, so we're just going to do that. Especially when it comes to supernatural entities that we're not sure about, I'm not going to question it.
We need more research to be sure about.
Exactly.
But still, it's going to be
I'm not going to question it. I'm going to be like, okay, whatever you say. I've not seen it. I really respect the fact that I've not seen it.
We don't want to see it at all.
Exactly.
Do not claim any negativity, anything, everything. Please be away. We don't want anything.
Claim it. Yeah. Exactly. So that was flesh gates. Another very common creature or entity that is very talked about is called the wood booger.
Okay, this is hilarious, but this is the first time. Right? This is the first time I think I've heard this name. Let's see what the creature is.
When I was doing the research, I was like, what the hell is that? Okay, so basically, it is very familiar with, and it looks like a hairy ape-like creature similar to Bigfoot. Often reported in Virginia. At this point, I'm like, what is going on in Virginia? Like, how are you people okay? Like, are you people okay over there in Virginia? Like, what the hell?
I'll probably not visit Virginia if I come across more cases as such. Just putting it out there. I hope you people in Virginia take care of yourselves. There's too much lore.
You won't believe how much stories actually come from there. There are actual stories of people writing and saying that they're from Virginia and they've, faced these kind of issues. And I'm like, what?
You guys, you take care, right?
You take care, yeah.
People in Virginia, you take care.
Please. So, basically it looks like you can say it's just like Bigfoot, I guess.
Yeti, but make it...
make it to
the
mountains?
Forest version.
Yeah, the forest version.
We've heard of Bigfoot before, so it's perhaps like the same creatures living in different regions. And adapting to it. I believe that there was like a case. If you're covering it, it'll be there. Like of a kid being lost in the mountains. And yes. So we get to the stories.
Those are that one that she's referring to comes under an entire new case called the Missing 411.
Sometime in the near future, added it to the list.
Yes. So it's basically again a huge lore with multiple cases, and it was like mysterious disappearances that happen in Appalachian.
There's so many.
There are literally so many from a very long time to till now. Like there are a lot of cases like that. So yeah, back to the creatures over there. The another one that we're going to talk about is the moon-eyed people. The first time I heard about them. It's a legendary ancient race of small, bearded, pale-skinned beings with large eyes who are sensitive to sunlight and live underground. It reminds me of elves.
That's one, and I think I came across a tale that talked about dwarf-like creatures that lived underground in different mines. So a lot of mining companies or miners specifically have this belief. I'm not sure if that is the case, but I guess a lot of them believe that, whenever you're doing some sort of a mining underground, there's creatures that belong there who have been there for a long time. So they know the passages well. And if you're creating a disturbance or intruding there, they'll often leave an offering or a gift to, please safeguard this project or safeguard the people here, take care of them. Like if they get lost, please leave them. There was something associated with knocks and whistles as well. So I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but there are stories of that kind.
Right. I think because it says underground, so it could be similar to the mining stories. And I've also heard people say that giving offering before, I think I've heard something like before the mining starts, they give offerings so that it does not, hamper the entire progress of the mining.
Yes, exactly. Because there happen to be so many weird cases where, mines obviously mines happen to be at
Dangerous.
times, yeah, they're dangerous. And like one of the most scary aspects is the fact that you're thousands of feet under the ground,
Right,
and it can be
exactly.
so suffocating. Places can collapse, the passages can,
Hmm.
there's a lot of possibility of
Right,
things
yeah.
going downhill, and they just wish that it didn't.
Didn't.
And a lot of people are like, we pray for the safety, we pray for the success, we pray for guidance, and we pray that we're not here with an intention to disturb.
That's right.
But obviously, there's a lot of disturbance and disruption.
Exactly. Mining itself is a disruption to nature, to be honest.
Horrible impact on the environment, the amount of displacement,
Right, exactly.
loss of resources, wastage of resources, use of resources, placement.
It's a lot.
Yeah, we better not get there.
Exactly.
We have a lot to talk about on the worries.
So basically, those were the Moonite people. I think their description gives me, if I'm talking in a very joking aspect or a light-hearted aspect, I think it reminds me of Smurfs for some reason. Like if
Yes.
I imagine them, I literally imagine like a small Smurfs, like Papa Smurfs with that huge beard and everything.
Like, come on, the ideas have to emerge from somewhere. Like they could have been taken from dwarves, they could have been taken from elves. So we imagine like a modern or contemporary version of what it was.
Exactly.
But it might have stemmed from somewhere.
It came from somewhere. So yeah.
We also have our hobbits.
True, exactly. We have hobbits. So now, moving on to the next one. It's Flatwood Monster and Lick Goat Moon. Okay, I've never heard about them. There's no other perfect description to what those are, but I'll definitely look into it and do an entire episode for that. But they are also basically entities or local sightings which have been commonly found in the Appalachians, and we'll go into that and we will see what these monsters are all about. Okay, so I'll go ahead and we have some stories that we found about. So I'm just going to go ahead and read some of them for you. So this is the first one. I think this is the first one we mentioned before as well. So basically the author here says that I don't know if I believe in 100% of the stuff here, but I will say that when I was a teenager, I went on a bike in South Central PA by myself in the Appalachian Mountains. It was a day I was playing hooky. So there was nobody else there at the small trail, at least that I could see. So you had to drive there. There was no foot traffic. I was young and had been talking, singing, horsing around the whole time. Totally unconcerned. Typical teenagers, what we do. So I don't even blame the author. Yelling things off the top of the mountain, etc. On my way down from the mountaintop, I heard my dad's voice call my name and ask for help. I thought I was having a stroke and I stopped. And I almost started to follow, thinking, WTF is my dad doing here? Did he follow me or something? Like, obviously, typically, we hear our parents' voice anywhere. We'll be like, okay, we will definitely follow you, right?
Bro, I'll react once, but I'm like, you're on your own. You put yourself there. I do not know.
Like, obviously, if my mom calls out right now, we'll be like, yes.
We'd be the first ones to
be like, yeah, what happened? We'll reply like that. So basically, I'm not even surprised the person reacted like that, and they were like, they thought, what?
My only concern is why was he yelling in the woods?
I think he found out the hard.
Exactly.
He found out the hard way. You're not supposed to do that. So, and then I came to my senses and told myself, my dad is sitting in his office like an hour away, or hour or more away. I heard it 2 more times in the space of a minute or two. Call me by my name and tell me to come here and help me with something.
I am out.
That is insane. Seriously, that is insane.
The moment I hear something, I'm running in the opposite direction. I do not
Especially you're alone in a forest. Someone calls
I'm alone on my staircase and I hear people call. I'll call my mom on my phone and I'll not reply. Okay? You're not hearing anything from me out loud. No, right, I'll call my mom.
I think the only good thing the author here did was not respond to the voice. I think
absolutely. That's very smart move. Very smart move. It was not he already called it towards himself, right? So it was one of the best things to not respond back.
Exactly.
Because I'm not sure if the author, would have lived to tell the tale, because we don't know what would have happened.
Right, exactly. I have never ran so fast. I used to do this hike in bare feet, and I remember my feet hurrying up down the mountain.
I'm glad he knew the way.
Exactly. I never went back, and to this day, I don't know what that was.
I'm so happy for you.
Seriously, the fact that he never went back just proves how spooky it was for him. Imagine being
creeped out.
Yes, it was imagine being completely alone in a place that you thought was your safe zone, and all of a sudden it is literally tampered by a spirit that you don't even know. Like you're not even
sure if it was just a spirit or a creature or something mimicking.
Exactly.
And what is more horrendous about this incident is the fact that somehow it knew what his father
I was
sounded
about to
like.
say the same thing. I was about to say the same
like,
thing.
how do you know who
Exactly.
somebody he knows sounds
Exactly.
like?
The fact that he always went there alone, not
Absolutely. He's not there for a
for a
picnic.
bit, huh? Exactly. He's not there for a picnic. He's not there with everyone else. He's just there by himself, doing anything an absolute teenager would do. So, what do you mean you heard your own dad's voice? That
Like,
was
how
exactly
does
similar.
that creature, entity, or being know what his father sounds like?
Exactly. That was probably really, freaky, to be honest.
I don't even know if it'll have to be somebody I know whose voice that I hear.
Right, exactly.
Let me tell you a tale. Last year, I was out during the puja, or a little before pujas. Me and my friend were out, and like we have this thing where we explore a lot of areas that we might not know in our own locality. So we were just kidding around, and there was this like intersection. So what happened was like there were like 3 different roads, and it was the intersection was at the side of like a place which was clearly not fully constructed, not exactly abandoned, but there were a lot of trees and it had not been managed in a long time. And there were like boundary walls, but there was this high street light. It was very bright. You could look all around. There were like cars and things traveling, and for a bit it stopped. So me and my friend, we were vlogging that day of how our experience was. So my friend was like, okay, let's go this way. And I was like, let's go that way. But both of us did not know where it led. We were just like, if we get lost, we'll find our way back. There's always people to ask. And we were very close to the main road. So we could hear that there were vehicles passing, there were people around. We could see that there were like buildings around. But in that place, the aura, the energy was kind of spooky. It was kind of cold. So we were vlogging, and then we walked out. We were there for a bit. We were not loud. We were just talking about ourselves, what we were experiencing, how we were feeling, and we were there for a bit, and then we left because it was like quite bright. So due to the street lamp, there we were like, okay, fine, let's record ourselves, get the still bit, and let's leave. So there has been no place in which we were like slandering anything, talking about the energy. We were not concerned about any supernatural or spiritual aspect there. It was just that sometimes when you walk into a place, you're like, oh my god, it's cold. Oh my god, I feel a little down. And the place feels a little suffocating despite it being very open. It was that. And I came back home and I was like reviewing our clips because I was the one who was vlogging and making the vlog. And I kid you not, I had my headphones on and I was like, should we go this way? And I heard a whisper, let us. And in the clip, my friend was staring at me. Or perhaps she was looking like a bit on the side. I'm not exactly sure what it was. But in that moment, it did not look like it was her that spoke. But there was a whisper. There was the slightest whisper of lettuce. Or perhaps something else along those lines. And I had full body chills. I kid you not, I sent that clip. That part of the clip to 8 different people. Somebody said they heard it too. Somebody said they did not. I do not know if my friend was like trying to calm me down and she was just like, okay, it was my voice. I was the one whispering. I was just looking around and in that angle, you did not hear it was me. And I was like, are you sure it's you? And she was like, yes, I'm 100% sure it's you. But those like 10 to 15 minutes between me sending the clip and her confirming that it was her, I had goosebumps and chills back to back. I was like, bro, you better tell me it's you. She was like, it is me. Right. I was like, are you sure? I don't see your lips moving.
Not that, like the voice.
Yeah.
Did it sound like her?
It sounded like a whisper. It was a whisper.
That's creepy.
I still have that clip somewhere. I'll send it to you. She was like, it's me. I sent her the message, within 10 minutes she saw it.
We're going to review the clip after we're done.
Yeah, and she was like, I'll share it with you. No, I'll share it with you. So she's like, no, it's me. I was like, you're sure? Creepy. Because it does not sound like you. You do not often whisper on my vlogs. You're one of the loudest people I know. So are you sure it's you? And she was like, yes. But those 10 minutes,
That's
Like,
really
yeah,
creepy.
it was just a sound from nowhere.
Right?
Yes. And
That's
I've never been
creepy.
so freaked out. Like, I showed it to my mom, I showed it to my aunt, I think I forwarded it to the group. I'm not sure if I
Nah,
did.
you have not.
Then I did not.
I would remember then. Because she has a lot of paranormal experiences. Like, we can actually make an entire episode on her and what she has experienced. So basically,
God.
that's why I have not. She had sent it to me. I would remember. So
I will share it.
Mm.
If I find it, I'll also put it here somewhere.
Right. Okay.
And if I don't find it, I'm gonna bully my friend into. Not really, but I'm gonna get the clip
from her.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so another story. It's a pretty long one. The OP has a lot of experiences apparently. And I really hope OP is safe, to be honest, because seriously.
Yeah, they probably are because they wrote it down.
No, it was like 2 years back, and after that there's no updates.
OP, take care.
OP, please take care. Okay, so, well, shit. Now I'm even more terrified of my woods. Why do people live in near the woods? Okay, let me explain. So it began in 2018, which was very recent.
That's way too recent to be comfortable about it.
And I was waiting for my bus by myself. And as I waited, my sense slowly started to freak out. And when the bus was turning the corner, I saw, and I was fully awake, but headless pale deer jumped through the woods next to the bus. After that, every time it was night-time-ish and I was near the woods, I would get a feeling like something was watching. Then in 2021 or 2022, me and my brothers were climbing up a hill connected to the woods, but literally move out of there, please. And when we got to the top, we started rambling around and howling and stuff. Then one of my brothers with a headlight was looking in the woods when we saw a pair of glowing eyes. Then me and before mentioned brothers, instincts kicked in and started screaming at us to get out. So we tried to convince our cousin and other bro to come with us, but they refused. Just get out. If someone's screaming at you in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night, get out.
Why would you do that?
I have absolutely no idea why they stayed, but they did apparently. So we tried to convince our cousin and other bro to come with us, but they refused. Like idiotic.
Yeah.
So after a while, me and my bro started going down. When out of nowhere, my other bro and cousin started running past us, yelling at us to run. And as we ran, I started to fall back, and I shit you not, all I heard was human breathing behind me. Luckily, we managed to get to the house and stayed there for the rest of the night. And so, why?
Exactly why? I have one more experience to share. This is not supernatural, but last year, I believe 2 to 3 years ago, we were at a hill station, right? And people there, they were like indoors by 7 or 7:30, latest 8.
Right.
And even if they were out in their own backyards.
Okay.
But once the lights were turned on, it was pitch black. Like the night was that dark. There was no moonlight guiding the way, nothing of the sort. There was no moon in the sky, I believe, that night. Just clear skies with twinkling stars. So, this was my first trip out with people that I knew. And second trip in the mountains, but like very first time that I was with just friends and not family.
Yeah.
So, exactly. So what happened was like, it was 7 or 7:30, and that's pretty early for us. We have like a very haywire schedule. We sleep at like 4, wake up at 5 or 9.
We will not talk about that.
AM, yeah. So we have a very shitty sleeping schedule, and that to us was too early. So what we did was like, we had our early dinner. And then everybody was like, we're going to take a stroll. Now, in my mind, stroll is just around the property that you're residing. Now, they said they wanted to walk down the path that we had come up from. And this was like a winding route that we had traveled in our car. It was 7:45 that we left the place. And we had our flashlights on. We were looking around. We had our phones' lights on. There were like 2 or 3. They had switched it off for some reason, I believe. Like, everything was off. The place around, the place that we were residing, they had lights on. Like, from a distance, you'd be seeing that there is like a human settlement there. But there was no light on the streets. Yeah, nothing on the streets. Nothing on the streets. We just knew that there were streets there because we had come up the same path. We had barely moved like 3 to 4 meters away from the place, and we could hardly see like a couple feet ahead of us. It was that dark. And I have not seen in like that kind of a darkness ever, because even here in the city, the night feels like evening.
Right.
Light pollution causes everything to be bright. There's a lot of dust reflecting everything, so it's pretty bright. We have not experienced that kind of darkness. And they were joking around, so they were like chatting loudly, they were yelling, they were whistling. And yes, I learned too much on the paranormal Reddit and YouTube rabbit holes, and also a lot of wildlife channels. So I was like, let's not do that, because it's already night.
Right.
Animals are attracted to light, animals are attracted to sound, and we don't even know what are there in these like woods. It was not a very dense woods. It was not like you couldn't see beyond the trees, but at night you literally couldn't. It was like a curtain. It was that dark. And they did not listen to me, and that spooked me out. Like, they were like, even if you whistle, it's to keep animals away. And I was like, that's quite the opposite of what I know.
Right.
And I was spooked to the point I was like, I do not care. I'm not going with you if you're making noise. If you're like playing around with the light. I don't want animals attracted to me, because I did not even want the possibility of anything else to do so.
Right, exactly. Like, to be honest, that was crazy. To be honest, firstly, if the locals ask you to stay inside after 7:30, just stay inside.
No, they did not tell us anything. They were, it was our own aspect. They did not tell us anything. They expected us to have common sense. We were like, we'll be around the property. Yeah. They wanted to not. I moved like 3 or 5 meters away. Could not see in front. Could barely see, like where my footsteps landed. And I was like, I'm not going. And they were like, we are going to leave you behind. I was like, you leave me behind, I find my way back to the place. But I'm not going. And they were kidding about it. They did not leave me behind. But were like, you're very scared. And I was like, yes, I'm scared. And I know the reason as to why I'm scared. So even if I'm scared, there is a reason. I have no shame in agreeing to the fact that I'm scared.
To be honest,
not going to put myself in harm's way.
Exactly. Like the fact, okay, to be honest, if you are in an unknown place, it does not matter if you're in the woods or if you're in an unknown city and it's really dark, I don't think it is actually safe to, do that. Like, it's really, it's not just animals. You never know what is lurking in the dark, right?
Yeah, you have robbers, you have thieves, you have pickpockets.
Like, the list is endless.
Exactly.
The list is endless, not just supernatural. Humans are equally terrifying.
Yeah, even if we are like a group of 5 or 6 people, somebody who knows the area would always have an upper hand compared to newbies.
Like, if you run, you will not be able to see where you're going. You don't know the way, you're lost. You have someone literally who knows every single, nook and corner of the place behind you.
They'd be playing on their home ground and we'd be newbies.
Exactly. So it is better to just stick to the rules, I guess.
There's so much to do. Otherwise, staying in, we have so much to do. And I was like, they were like, are you scared? And I was like, I'm absolutely scared. I do not care.
Right, exactly.
And I do not have two thoughts and I'm, we're going to diverge from the path.
Right.
I'm going back. So they literally stepped, kid you not, they stepped like a meter ahead. And it seemed as if they were so far. There were like 6 or 7 of us, right? There were like 3 who went ahead, and there were 4 of us who was here, or perhaps 1 had stayed back. There were 3 of us here, 3 of us there. It was something along those arrangements, and it felt as if they were like so far.
Can you imagine how thick the darkness was?
And it had absolutely no business being that dark. I don't even know why it was that dark, but it felt so dark, and I was like, I am scared and I'm going back.
Yes, like this remote places, because I have seen in my experience when I have gone to my father's place in Kerala, it is really dark. In remote places, the darkness is different. It's not the same like what we experience in the city.
You realize what a darkness can be.
Exactly. You realize what night actually means when you go to remote places. And the reason why people there lock their doors within 7:30 because that's how dark and that's how scary it is. We're not scared of what is around us. We're scared of what can be in the dark.
Absolutely.
Like we are not sure what is inside of that particular darkness, what the darkness is actually covering or keeping hidden. Absolutely. So it's best to stay safe, right? Better than, bring the harm upon yourself. Okay, so the story of the OP does not end there, but So, and the most recent one was 7 or 8 months ago, which, to basically recap, I was chilling on bed, then a hissing or moaning sound in the voice of a young boy. In brackets, I was on the second on the second story of a house, but started coming from the window. It sounded like it kept saying ska, or kept on saying it for 3 or 4 minutes before it eventually left. And the final encounter up to date took place 5 months ago. And I was downstairs getting some water, and when I see eyes look at me from the window for a few seconds before disappearing. And then I ran upstairs and put stuff against my door. It tried to get in and did move the door pretty decently. Okay. So basically I put a dresser on the door and other heavy objects that I could find. Imagine
he broke into a sweat listening to that.
Imagine trying to actually, push a door which has a dresser on. Like, that is insane amount of strength that no human can actually conquer up to.
Humans can definitely have that kind of strength, but yeah, in any situation, that is pretty scary.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But it didn't come in, and I managed to grab a knife. But as I did, I saw its hand. God, its hands. All the fingers were different sizes, sharp at the end. I sat on my bed waiting and having a death grip on the knife. But all it did was stare at me from the crack in the doorway. I still remember its eyes staring into me. Eventually, I somehow slept, and when I woke up, it was gone. The worst part is that I know it's toying with me, and I am scared of it, scared of seeing it for me. So I'm really sorry, Upi, whoever you are. I hope you're really safe.
Yeah, we are happy that you live to tell the tale, and I hope that you're taking care of yourself.
Because the people under this were like, I hope you're safe. I hope there's an update. Where are you? Like, people are concerned because this, this is literally crazy. And this is 2 to 3 months, years ago that was updated. Right. So basically, what is 2026 here? So what, 2024?
You better take care.
Right. So, OP, I'm really hope if you're okay. So we have another story that is done, but this is not about the OP. This is basically about OP's mother. Okay,
so they are telling us the story.
Yeah, so the OP is basically retelling their mother's tale. So when my mother was just a girl in the 1940s, she was spending the night at her aunt and uncle's house in southern West Virginia. So there's something wrong with Virginia. This house was in a holler, and her grandmother's house was at the head of the holler.
Okay.
A big field separating the two.
Okay.
With a big sycamore tree right in the middle of the field. Her aunt sent her to her grandmother's house to get either a cup of sugar or flour. Okay. She said she didn't hurry back and just played until almost dark.
Okay.
She started back down the path to the other house, which went by the sycamore tree. She said she got right under the tree when something in the tree let out a yell that sounded like a woman screaming. She threw the cup away, ran towards the house, and met her uncle coming out with a rifle to shoot what was most likely a mountain lion. He did find the mountain lion, and they never found the cup she threw away.
I am glad that she was safe. I'm glad that she was ran, and I'm thankful for the uncle who had a rifle at hand.
Exactly. I am not really sure what is going on with Virginia, because what is with that place? Why are there so many stories coming out of that place?
It has to be something to do with the geography or history of the place.
Because there are so many, and because this kind of particular tale regarding this mountain lion and the screaming lady, there are very recurrent tales about this. I could find a lot of similar stories, people having similar experiences regarding the same, regarding a woman screaming and also seeing a mountain lion. So there's a huge lore behind this as well. So definitely today we are going to keep it till here, but we'll definitely get back. Yes, with a lot of other stories coming up, with a lot of lore coming up, and from where these stories are actually originating from. So we'll go ahead and, keep everything into that loop. So this is all for today, right now?
Yes. Also, for the next episode, we're going to take a break from Appalachia and dive into some of our local legends and something pertaining to India once again.
Right.
And then we get back to Appalachia. So in the meantime, let us know what are some of your favorite tales or creatures or cryptids that you want us to talk about when it comes to Appalachia or even other regions of the place. We are open to exploring and we'll be keeping a list. So yeah.
Yes, if you have any personal stories of your own that you have gone to just like she or me have, so please do do get back to us. We'll put our emails in the description. You can always reach out to us with the stories. And if you want us to talk about the stories in our podcast, we'll go ahead and do that as well.
Yeah, we'd be very happy to do that. Open to share your stories.
We are open to submissions.
Yes. Share your stories, we'll be sharing our stories, and we hope that we have a good conversation and you have a good time listening to us. Exactly. So, until the next episode, this was all for 2P Podcast.
Bye-bye.
See you next Monday.
Bye.